Hello, friends. Today I'm bringing you a video or lessons of how to create server 2019 um, virtual machines on the Azure portal. I done this previous video. It was not finished completely, so I have to. I'm doing it again to show you the process, in thorough. And I have this I have this account as a free account with Microsoft, and they have I have a credit. I registered from for free licensings for AD and also E5. So performing this process of this lesson for a training purpose and to teach and to help my colleagues and friends out there. They they are planning to build a server 2019 or any server. It's a similar actually, and I appreciate your like and subscribes as always. So first things first, we have to in this process we have to click on virtual machines, and basically Microsoft has several options now, and with the new look on the Azure portal, they used to have only one blade under Create, which is Azure Virtual Machines. Now they have the Azure Virtual Machines with the preset configurations and also some. This is for DevOps mostly, and this is for here for DevOps had more into it and more features that you guys need to use if you're planning to do a DevOps. And here it's more related solutions to discover and deploy says here workloads and Azure products your business needs. So this is like more on productions. So we are again, this is for the purpose of showing you on a training basis. So I'm just doing uh, the basic stuff in here, and although it's a little bit advanced, but it's just I'm not gonna go in depth in here and purchase a lot of things as and it says I have only certain credit with Microsoft right now. So we click on the Azure Virtual Machines, and it's gonna take us to the process of, as you can see here, is this starts from basic disks and networking management, monitoring advanced tags, and review and create. So we start with the first things first, and it's going to go to the subscriptions. That's with Microsoft, and then we're going to create a new resource group, and I will name this when uh, DC RG for resource group, and it's going to check and see for the availability, and it is available to select. As you can see, there is a green check mark or a faded green check mark, and we click OK. The next things we have to give the virtual machines a name in here, and I'm planning to give it this as being domain controller. I will have it as Win DC for domain controller. So for the region, every region is differ, and I personally would select Central US, but unfortunately right now it's not available. So possibly we can. What I can do is I have to select East East USA, which is that's what is available. Then for availability zone, I don't need to select that in here. So want to see if this is, you know, as I said here, let's see if it's going to give us an options for also central, which I don't see central US in here again. So we have to go with the East USA and the availability options. As you can see, this is something Azure offers and range of options managing redundancy. As you can see, if you have anything, this is in the real world environment, the productions, you do need this for sure when you build up an architecture. And this is for the purpose of, as you can see, it says replications, replicate this in availability zone or availability sets to protect your apps and data from data center outages and maintenance events. So I don't have that right now. I don't need to select it. I also don't need to select anything in regards security, which again, and this is something that you may have, you may need to, and when it comes to real world or production line or productions, you're going to need that also. So by default, it comes to Ubuntu, which I'm not selecting that, and we're going to select the data center Windows Server Data Center 64-bit, as you can see here, and it says eligible for a free service, which is good, and it's 64 bits in here, which is good also. And next things we're gonna look in here, and the size. Sometimes the size is not available for the B2, I call it the burstable one, and sometimes it does have availability. Let's check and see if there's is anything available on the B2 for for 4 CPU, which I don't see it unfortunately here. And I have to go with the genetics, probably the B2S. Let's see this, how much is gonna cost. You have to do a lot of digging, a lot of search. And again, this is not something that you need to purchase the most fanciest one, but you need to have it in there. The 4 CPU is not available, the genetic one, and the only things I can suggest is going um, with the burstable Gen burstable 1, which is it's about $36 a month. It shows here. Um, Free service. It shows here are free for 702 hours, which that's fine, but I would need to this actually, as a CPU has to be at least 2 to utilize the server. I would select that for now, and it's not too expensive. Hopefully it will manage this process of the lab, and it will achieve that. I will give a server name when you log in. I just put it a regular name, and then I will go ahead and provide the password for that. In this case, and I'll go ahead now and type my password. And did accept that part, and then to confirm it again. And it did confirm that, which is good. For ports, inbound ports, I will allow the RDP, remote desktop ports only. You have the options for HTTP. If you're internal, you need to connect into it from one machine to another one, or if you are an HTTPS external 4443, and again, 480. This is definitely if you do an SSH connectivity, which is something else that it requires also. So just to double check everything looks good here, I'm gonna go next to the disk. And for disk, and the SSD is gonna be very expensive. Again, for if you're doing this lab, it's gonna be expensive to purchase an SSD rather. Going with the regular standard HDD, which is that's locally redundant. Even I don't see anything lesser expensive, but except for this one, which is fine. It's not gonna cost you again in real world. You do need that, but in here, no. The next things in here, the next things in line It would be the key management. I don't have any. I don't really utilize anything like that. Again, for the purpose of this training, I don't have anything for key management. There's a lot of options, custom managed keys, and so this is for when you log in, you have to have certain authentication or key stuff like that going on, which I don't have it. I don't need to do that. I'll leave as everything as is, and this is what you this is when we can read this disk persist independently from the virtual machine. You can choose to automatically delete the disk when the associate virtual machine is deleted. So this is it will if we delete this machine after this process or this class, it will delete is good. I'll leave it as is. The next things we're gonna go is the networking. Here is the part I need to explain. I did VNets previous class and I selected, and there was a given an option of central locations, but currently because this is a free account, it does not give me here anything and such. Rather, is going to create a new virtual machines for me. So the VNets I have is not even listed because it's not even here. So I would suggest going and creating a new VNets, and I see here it's already preset the way I want. It's the IP addresses is listed as is, and the location for this definitely is gonna be in the central and eastern region because the VM is in the eastern regions. In this case, this one is gonna be in eastern region also. It came up also with the default subnet, which I will select that also, and everything looks good for me here. And the only things I can do here, I can add one more to differentiate this VNet. VNet, I will add it for the DC VNet 02. I'm gonna put it 02 because 01 is not gonna be utilized in here, and the default subnets for this. So that's as far as the virtual networks. I'm gonna go ahead OK with that. And by default is giving me, as you can see, the default subnets and all this, and also the selected inbound. That's what I said, and only we selecting this RDP, so we can RDP. Um, uh, the other part of this, I don't have anything to do with the load balance. I don't need load balancer right now because this is not like something in the production. In production, you do need load balancer, and it's going to give you more options in there down the road. Application gateways for security, I don't need that as of now, and this is what look like right now. So we're going to go to the next part of this, all of it, and we're gonna go to managements. The only things I would suggest for you guys, you can select other things that you guys want. Enable system is assigned managed the entity. That's very very good when you're in a real environment. But for me, I would select this part, which is shut down this VM. When I'm not utilizing this VM, I would suggest shutting down this VM. I will do it at 2 o'clock, and I'm in the central region. Again, this is although this is says Eastern, the VM register Eastern, the VNet register, but I'm currently in the central, and that's what it's going to mimic. That's what it's going to reflect when it's coming to shutting down. It's going to go and look at the computer, not the VM. So I'm going to select the central locations for the US. I would select that. So at 2 p.m. Central Time, US is going to be shutting down. Emails that you can enter, this my emails right now that I have registered with Azure portal, as you can see, and that's the email. You can have a preferences of that which emails you meet, but this is what has been registered, what's what would been needed to be in there. I don't have any side recovery, any backups. You guys can select that if you want. For me, again, this is just the basic things, and that's to show you how to install the server 2019 data centers v2. So next things will be the monitoring. Eventually, I will have different class showing you how to do an alerts on the VMs, and that's very good to see and learn. And for now, I'm not selecting that. Boot diagnostics, I don't have anything to do with boot diagnostic at this moment. It says here, I would leave it for now, just in case, but it's not going to accumulate a lot of money unless it's been utilized, unless the VM's crashed, and then yes, it might ask you, it might be very beneficial for you. Next things will be advanced in here. If you have anything to add on these are features like custom data, and also if you have selected an extension, like if you have an antivirus to add or anything like that to add it here, you can select it from your computer to add it to this if you would like. That's also an option here. In my case, again, I don't, and this is a training class only, the purpose of it. So I would go to next, which is tags. Tags is if you have a lot of in the real environment, production environments, you're gonna have something that you can differentiate your servers from each others and the departments. So you will need name and values, and then select the resource for that, which I don't here. Next things we're gonna go to review and create. This is the process. It's going to take some times, and it's going to go through provisionings and creatings, a lot of steps and features, which that's part of the pool, and also it depends on the network bandwidth that you have. As you can see here, it's going through the process of validation, and it did actually validate and passed, and which is that's very good without anything that gives you here that the port RDP is open, which is kind of you have to be careful on that because from hacking and such. But other than that, everything looks good and it's green, validation passed, and then we go ahead and create. So this is the process, going to take some time, as I mentioned, for validations, and also is provisionings, and the screen, as you can see here, and it's going to start initializing deployments, as this says, and then it's going to change in a few seconds here to different screen, which is saying deployment in progress. So I will go ahead and pause this process and come back on and off to show you what the steps is doing in here. All right, friends, as you can see, the process is going, went through the deployments, and it says deployment was successful, as you can see, and it has a green check mark, and the server was provisioned successfully. I'm going to go ahead and go to the resources, which is the WinDC server itself, and as you can see, the server has been started already in here, and I'm gonna be connecting to the server shortly, and gonna click on connect in here, and it did register an IP address, and then it says native RDP. That's what we're gonna select in here, and what I need to do is download the RDP file, and my suggestions to you download it on your right here, and we're gonna open this folder. It's right here, and I would suggest you copy this and put it on your desktop computers somewhere, and you know around here. And let's give you an option to paste. Okay, let's open the folder again and minimize everything and bring here. And that's what is going to be present all the time for you when you're trying to connect to that in here. So you don't need to go and download this all the time. So we go back to virtual machine. As you can see, everything looks good here. And what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna demonstrate to you how I'm gonna connect. I'm gonna double click on the RDP. As you can see that I created here, click on connect. It's communicating through actually the IP address. And as you can see here, it did ask me for the credential. So as I mentioned to you right now, the RDP shortcut is right here. I'm gonna double click on it and then click on connect, and it's come with the username that I put. Sometimes if you see the computer itself, that's different account. You have to go more choices and select different users. But for me, that's the user that I need. I'm gonna put my password that I created during the process as you saw previously, and then click OK. And when it comes to the screens, it's pretty much is a good screen that does communicate with the server. And then I click on yes, and here we go. That we are at the server part. What I suggest is changing this screen to a different view if you can, so you can have a better display process, and make it even smaller. But in general, this is your server right here, and this is what you have in here. And as you can see here, I have to toggle back and forth with the recording in here. But in general, the server is here, and I logged in to WinDC as you can see, and it's working, which is good. That's what I need. And then next things I'm gonna do is promoting this DC to the domain controller, and also adding the other feature Active Directories, GPOs and such, DSCP and all this good things. Eventually, I'm planning to do the Azure Virtual Desktop Machines and doing some scriptings, and that's going to be very helpful for everyone to look. Thank you again. If you enjoyed this video, please, if you like to see more videos, I suggest my recommendation. Have any comments, any questions? Also, don't forget about the likes and subscribes. Thank you, and have a great